Hello, welcome back to another episode of Herb of the Week. Welcome.
Oh, hi.
Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Kyle's very first international guest on this podcast.
Yes, this is my wife, Serena. It's a special occasion, this episode. We'll get into that a little bit, but I invited you on because the Herb of the Week this week is chamomile. And it's an herb that's special to me, and is it special?
Yeah, to me as well.
Yeah, I feel like we both have some need for it. And let's set the stage here for everyone that's listening. It's after 9 o'clock. You literally just put the baby to bed, right?
Yeah, just now.
You're nursing him.
Yep.
How's that going?
It worked.
But sometimes you don't come out of the room with a big smile on your face.
No, I'm pretty exhausted. It takes quite a long time.
Yeah, and he's pinching you and hurting you and stuff like that as you hold your composure and...
Yeah, he's a squiggler. He's totally a squiggler.
Yeah. So I made us a pot of chamomile tea. Can I pour you some?
Yes, please. That sounds exactly what I need right now.
I thought, let's have a cup of chamomile tea together. And I asked you to write down a few things about chamomile earlier today that you wanted to bring to our conversation. I got a few, and I thought we have some cookies here, so you can feel free to chomp away on those. It's fine. It'll be a regular setting of a conversation, Herb of the Week podcast, after dark, relaxing. So who wants to start? You want to start or should I start?
Oh, yeah, but please, you started dance. Lead us.
So first, cheers.
Cheers.
I won't start with the plant yet because I want to make a toast to us.
Right. Yeah.
We had a big day.
Yeah.
We had a huge day. We had a very busy day. We had a very busy night. Mm-hmm. We have a very busy life. Mm-hmm. We've had a busy year. And today we celebrate.
Yeah, it's our 8th anniversary.
Of wedding. Yeah.
Yep.
So, happy anniversary, my love.
Yeah, happy anniversary to us.
It's been a wonderful, wow. What a life. What a life. 8, 2. Mm-hmm. That's a good lucky number. I like that one. We're entering into the 8th. We're in the 8th month right now of the year too.
Isn't it like a lucky number because it's 2 rounds, 2 coins? I think in like China means like money, something like that.
Yeah, it's the infinity. Yeah, just keeps going, keeps perpetuating. As above, so below. Omens. Yeah, as within, so without.
It's gonna be an amazing year.
I was thinking about this plant as relating to our matrimony. The word matrimony is related to this plant too. We can get into that later, but do you remember when I proposed to you? We don't have to tell the whole story, all right? We could save some of the magic for us. Okay. But I proposed to you in Italy.
Yes,
and
it was
the last night that I was visiting you. And
the last 5 hours before leaving. He had like a whole week of amazing places where he could have proposed.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, she took me to the most beautiful places in all of the world, which happened to be not far from where you live. And each night an amazing sunset. And I was like, oh, I can't do it. I just don't have the guts to do it. And of course you were going to, I didn't know.
I set up every night, like every day, the perfect spots and the perfect moment because I felt like that question was coming. And I was like, oh man.
Yeah,
might have changed his mind because, we had the occasions.
And we would like watch the sunset together and you would just look into my eyes like are you gonna?
You asking?
And I was like, I figured it out. So I was like, I'm going to go up to the tower in Siena and I'm going to propose to you in the tower in the historical city of Siena. And we were in the location and about to go up the stairs and a thunderstorm came in and they closed the tower down for lightning. And I was like, dang it. I had the ring in my pocket and everything. So that's okay. And then the last night your mom asked me if I wanted to try some horse meat for the first time. And I was like, okay, I've never tried horse meat, but I've never said no to anything that they've offered to me. Would you like another plate of lasagna? Sure. Would you like another plate of lasagna? Sure. Would you like this? Would you like that? Would you like this liquor? Okay. Would you like some horse meat? Sure. And I had it, and I got the courage. I felt like it gave me like courage and strength, and so I proposed. And then what did you say?
Yes.
Okay. And then after that, we went upstairs and we celebrated with
a cup of chamomile tea.
That's right. So remember that?
Yeah. Because it was late night, right before you had to wake up early to go to the airport. So we went upstairs and tell my parents, hey, this dude just asked me if I want to marry him. And I mean, it was late night. What are you going to do? It's not that you're going to
have a bottle of champagne.
No. Like, okay, let's just have some chamomile tea
and some cookies.
Let's calm down.
Yeah, exactly. I was definitely worked up and sweating, and heart was beating and fast. And so that's a really good occasion, I think, for chamomile. As to me, it's like a familiar plant. It's a family plant. It's a plant about coming together as a family. But the thing about familiar plants is that they dispel that whatever it comes with, uncertainty, the stress that comes with uncertainty, not knowing what to do, not knowing how to plan or proceed or where to go. And sometimes in herbal medicine, we might offer a remedy that sounds really exotic or strange to people. And that even can still make somebody feel a little bit stressed out, just hearing a strange name. Like, where am I going to find Stachys officinale or something like that? But pretty much everybody has had chamomile tea in the past, or has some in their house from, staying at a hotel and just taking the little bags from the hotel or whatever, just having like a pack. It's pretty much indestructible in the pantry. It always kind of has its aromatics and its taste. And so I think that plants that have that familiar quality are always good because they are good for so many things. So that's the first thing I wanted to say about chamomile.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You got one?
Yeah, it's a familiar plant because it's so good with children. It's as you said, it doesn't lose its scent. It doesn't lose its power for years. Because that bag of chamomile that you have in your pantry, that you've been having in your pantry for years, if you open it up, it still smells good. So it's powerful. But it's so delicate in its power. So it's perfect with children. So it's a good mama plant. It just suits the baby to sleep. It suits the baby's teeth in. My mom told me that she used to give me chamomile in my bottle when I was a baby at night. So that's definitely a family plant.
And you give this to your baby too, don't you?
Well, through myself.
Not just though.
Well, yeah. Well, actually, we give it to him in shot glasses.
He wakes up in the morning, and we're having our chamomile tea right now, and then I'm going to steep it before I go to bed. He wakes up in the morning. She pours him a shot glass of chamomile to start the day. Because
there you go.
Because he is a rambunctious boy. Oh my goodness, this boy is rambunctious. So we get the day, try to start it off right with giving this guy some chamomile.
We use shot glasses just because they're small, fit in his hands, and
he can like smash them against the table and they don't break. So yeah. It's a nice little, little cup basically. Did you know that Matthew Wood says famously about chamomile that it is a plant that's suitable for babies of all ages? That's kind of something whenever he teaches about it, he talks about that. So he talks about children, little babies like ours, you consuming it through your breast milk or delivering it through your breast milk, as you mentioned, for the benefit of colic, for the benefit of their nervous system, for their digestive system, for their sleep. And then also maybe when he's acting like a baby, when he's 5 years old or 7 years old or 25 years old or 35 or 45, when we feel like we're having like a little tantrum kind of state, even in our maturity, and all the way into old age. He says it's a plant that's good for babies. And I think I have my own interpretation on this that I thought of. And the opposite of a baby, what would you say the opposite of a baby would be?
An elder.
An elder, but in between an elder and a baby. Adult, right.
Mm-hmm.
So etymologically, the word adult is associated with impure. So adulterated.
Oh, yeah.
Unadulterated. And right now, by the way, this is the first episode that you're listening to, right?
Yes.
So, welcome.
I have to admit, I've never listened.
Here we are in Virgo. So we just started in Virgo. And so for this series, I've been talking a lot about like the astrological signs and trying to teach about the astrological signs and stuff like that. So we're just entering in Virgo right now. And Virgo is the Virgin. It's about purity. It's about the Virgin Mary, which is the mare. It's this unadulterated sea. And so something about the word adult, if we admit that we are, like if I were to say I am, which is kind of like invoking the sacred name of God, I am an adult, then therefore I am admitting of my impurity and the broken aspect of like wholeness. And so that is the thing that I would like to expand on with Matt Wood's Good for Babies of All Sizes, is that it's not about quelling the temper tantrum and bringing that baby back to an adult state. It's actually the opposite. It's about bringing that adulterated version of ourselves back into a pure form, back into a form of wholeness once again, like the Virgin, like the Virgo, the Virgin Mary. So that's something I just thought of. What do you think about that?
I was just thinking, if I drink a lot of chamomile before bedtime, I may wet the bed. I don't know if you mean that, if you mean that by going back to your baby state.
The Virgin Mare. Going back to the baby state of wetting the bed. Yeah, it's a diuretic, right? So it definitely does make you pee. So we can have a couple of these, and we probably will wake up in the middle of the night having to pee.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it gets rid of water and stuff like that. All right, I have another one here on my list. The note says the matrix. So the botanical name of this plant is
Matricaria recutita.
Nice. Wow, doesn't it sound so much better when it comes from the mother tongue?
Yeah, I assume Latins, they would roll their R's.
Yeah, exactly. So Matricaria, that's the genus, and there's a plant of the same genus that grows here in Milwaukee. It's not chamomile. It's what we sometimes call wild chamomile, but it's also called pineapple weed. Do you know why?
Because if you crush it, it smells just like pineapple.
Yeah, and it tastes like pineapple. It's more sweet than regular chamomile. Grows in the disturbed soils and stuff like that. And it looks just like chamomile, except it doesn't have the white petals around the outside. And so when I'm doing an herb walk on this plant, I talk always, I'm like, the botanical name of this one is Matricaria. And then I say, which means matrix. It's where the word matrix comes from. Does anybody know what matrix means? And then people are on the herb walk and they're like, they give each other the side eye and they're kind of looking at each other like, oh great, he's already talked about chemtrails. He's already like wondered about the type of realm that we have. And now he's gonna start talking about the Matrix, like, which is like the anthem of every like conspiracy YouTube video. You know, they're probably just like, oh man, I thought we were almost done. So I'm like, does anyone know what the Matrix is? And people are just like, I'm afraid to answer, I think. And I say, it means the womb. And there's this like relief that washes over people. Half of it is like relief, like, oh my God, good, he's not going to get into the Matrix. And the other half is like, oh, that makes so much sense. The Matrix, it's a movie about birthing and the womb. So the Matrix means the womb. And so I always thought, I always think about that in the motherly aspect, and how also the name mom is embedded in this plant. Mom tea. The Russian word for tea is
chai,
cha, and also in like Eastern countries as well. And mom, so mom tea. Chamomile. Yep. And the Matrix, and bending spoons with your mind, and so on. So that's one point I wanted to make. So yep.
Okay.
You got any?
I'm gonna reply with 4 notes. Ding 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 ding, which is the jingle for Filtro Fiore Bonomelli, which is a brand.
Wait, what is it called?
Filtro Fiore Bonomelli. It goes tin 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 tin, notti calme, giorni belli, Filtro Fiore Bonomelli.
What is that?
Is this like the short commercial for chamomile, one of the largest brand of chamomile tea?
Oh yeah, the one, it's like blue box with like yellow.
Yeah, there's actually 2 big brands. One is Filtro Fiore Bonomelli, and the other one is Sogni d'Oro.
Right, I know that one. Because we took inspiration.
Yes, Sogni d'Oro means dreams of gold, and we may or may not have named our Dream of Gold blend.
Based on the literal translation. It's a nice name, Sogni d'Oro.
Yeah, but the jingle for the Filtro Fiore Bonomelli says Il meglio da chi ti vuole bene. So the jingle goes Notti calme giorni belli. That means calm nights and beautiful days, the best from the one who loves you.
Wow.
It's such a heartwarming. It's such a heartwarming jingle for me.
Totally. Can you sing it again, please?
Tim 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 tim, notti calme, giorni belli, Filtro Fiore Bonomelli, il meglio da chi ti vuole bene. That's how it goes.
Excellent. How do you say chamomile in Italian?
Camomilla.
But you say it differently, because when you're talking with your mom, you don't always speak Italian with your mom.
No, in Bergamasco, which is the dialect from my region, it's called camamela.
Right.
Which is actually, it brings me to the next point.
Okay.
Chamomile nobilis is the botanical name of Roman chamomile.
Oh, Chamomile nobilis?
Is it Chamomile nobilis?
The noble chamomile.
Mm-hmm. And so yeah, one of my point was, German chamomile? Roman chamomile? What are they? Are they same plant? No, they're not. They're different. They're very similar in properties, but they look different.
Just like Germans and Italians. Or Romans, I should say.
Mm-hmm, yeah. So the German chamomile has a very cone-shaped center.
It's pointy in the center.
It's pointy in the center. But it's the one that we usually use. The German chamomile is the Matricaria recutita. The Roman chamomile is the one that has the center of the flower is a circle, just like a coin with all the petals around it.
Okay. I learned once that one of them has aromatic leaves and the other one doesn't have aromatic leaves, and so but I don't know which one is which. In fact, for a long time I thought until earlier this year. As a matter of fact, for the last several seasons, I thought we were growing chamomile in our garden.
And turns out that we were growing neither one.
It was...
Because it's not a chamomile. It looks like chamomile. It's called stinking chamomile.
Stinking chamomile, yeah. Why do you think it's called that?
Well, we should have realized that when we tried to make an hydrosol out of it.
No, the hydrosol was okay.
It didn't smell like chamomile.
Okay, it didn't, yeah. But it doesn't taste like it was like really hot, super hot and spicy, really bitter. It didn't have the loveliness that chamomile has. And I was thinking to myself, man, is it getting too much sun? Am I peeing in the garden too much? Like, why is that?
Well, the answer to that is yes.
Why does it have this taste? I couldn't figure it out.
Turns out it's on the wrong plant.
It's the wrong plant. So, yeah, I don't know where it came from. I think maybe we sold it from somebody that thought it was chamomile, or if it just volunteered and I
it's
thought
just smaller flowers. The leaves are just like Roman chamomile.
Right. And it's medicinal, but it's just not that consumable. That's all. Mm-hmm. So that brings me, you were talking about we were talking about all these different names. And I was thinking about some of the fun names here in America that we know. So we say chamomile. Some people say chamomile. Mm-hmm. But one time, and it was more than one time actually, people will call up the shop and they'll say, hey, do you have a plant? I don't know how to say it. I don't know how to spell it either. I'm just going to try. Chamomile? Do you have any chamomile? And yeah, I love that name. Here's why. We're not snobs about how to say a plant's name. And I always think that when people are saying a plant's name that's different than the way other people do, it's an indication of their intelligence because they're reading about it. They're reading. So they have this way of like trying to investigate and learn something for themselves through their reading. And they're not always told exactly what to do. And they're following through with what they're reading and putting it into the world. So that was my part. That was my turn. Now you got another one.
So should we start talking about some of the benefits of these plants?
We could talk about it based on what we've experienced just by sitting down and having the chamomile. We could talk about what's written about it, but take it away with all of that. Mm-hmm. And I'll jump in.
Yeah, it's definitely a plant that relaxes and calms you down.
Do you feel more calm now than you did at the beginning of this episode?
I'm definitely unwinding, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And
you look more unwound.
Unwound.
Yeah, unwound. Yep.
So it's warming in my tummy. So the digestive properties of chamomile are definitely known.
I had to take off my second layer when we sat down. It's middle of August. Mm-hmm. So, it's not like it's cold by any means, but there is a diffusive action of heat throughout my body. I could feel it like moving the heat to my periphery, and so that it's like, I wouldn't say it's making me feel overly warm, and to me it just makes me feel like heated all over instead of just concentrating that energy in my womb, in my matrix area, in my Virgo center, my solar plexus. I would totally agree that this plant, okay, like the Virgo aspect right here, this is the Virgo archetype is about making a lot of decisions. It's where the liver is, it's where the gallbladder is, it's where the pancreas is. It's about breaking things down, making all kinds of decisions and stuff like that. And then taking on a lot of stress based on decision making. It's kind of like the planner of the whole zodiac. And so when somebody has a lot of stress that is a result of digestive stress, or vice versa, like where they feel stressed out and it makes them feel they have a hard time digesting. This plant just works right there. So it's hard for me to tell if it's like relaxing to my nervous system because it's working first on my nerves, or if it's relaxing my nervous system because it's working on that like bundle of nerves that's right there in this plexus that is controlling the other 12 nerves right in that Virgo center. And that's where I think it's actually more likely to be doing that. I could tell that because we're looking at the flowers right now and they're yellow.
So yeah, would you say, I was about to ask, would you say that there's a signature of the yellow as color of the solar plexus chakra?
I would say it's a color of the solar plexus chakra, but not necessarily the sun, because Virgo is a sign that's an earth sign, but it's ruled by Mercury. Do you know what the signatures of Mercury are in plants? Like if you were to see Mercury in plants, do you know what they look like?
I would say light looking, like petals and flimsy leaves, just like
fluttery, leaf, feathery, exactly.
Yeah. Yep. Feathery, that's how I would describe chamomile leaves. Something
they can fly away like Mercury does, even like that's wing shaped as well. And also something that has a asymmetrical form, a spindly form, like chamomile, how it likes to spread out, how it has a big head, it has a lot of energy, and it's in all these directions. But also mercurial signatures, Mercury in the archetype is a shapeshifter. So it's hard to tell exactly with Mercury too. And so when you look at it, you're like, oh, is this a solar plant? It's got this like sun-looking quality. And other people say, I think it might be more of a lunar plant because it's got that soft white to it. And also I drink it at night and it makes me sleepy. It has that sedative quality. And so to me, those two things are like the indication that there's a shapeshifter that we're consuming a shape-shifting entity for the benefit of our health, of course. So those are very mercurial signatures that are really, and then here's a really cool thing too, based on the energetic qualities of how it works. When we were talking about distilling it in hydrosol, do you remember that experience? What was it?
The oil of this plant turns blue.
Not just any color blue.
It's like a deep blue.
It's like the sky. It's azure. We don't really have the word azure in English. We just borrow the Latin word, I guess, azure. And that's due to a compound in it called azurylene. And azurylene is a compound that gives a plant like chamomile and yarrow, another plant that I think is very mercurial, the ability to turn blue when it's distilled. The essential oil and the hydrosol are that sky blue. It's beautiful. It looks like a cool trick that you just put in some plant and out comes this beautiful sky blue quality. But in the body, when we consume that, it has a flower flavor, it has an aromatic flavor, and it also has a bitter flavor. And so bitters have this way of bringing secretions into our digestive system and bringing our energy back towards our core. And the aromatic plants have a way of moving that energy from the core all the way out to the periphery. So there's that shapeshifter quality again. It's like, which way is it going? In or out? Well, it's doing both. It's going in and out. And so that's why, as an earth sign, Virgo being something that's grounded, but also a mercurial thing, which is like up and down, heaven all around, it makes a lot of sense to have something that will work in multi-dimensional ways in the body. And that's why I think it's really good for everyone, because everyone will benefit from a little bit of digestive capabilities or a little bit of aromatic capabilities. It's going to shift your energy the way that you want it. So my energy, I mean, I could tell you're getting sleepy and winding down.
Oh, yes.
And I'm getting kind of like inspired and wound up because that's what it's doing for me. It's like that's where my energy needs to go right now. It needs to do a little bit more. That's what the feeling of removing tension in my digestion has done for me, is that it's like allowed more energy to circulate. Not like in a stay up all night jittery kind of feel, but like in a inspired, talking a little louder, a little bit more vibrant, letting it out, mercurial feel. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I would like to hear your thoughts about chamomile oil. So chamomile is a highly aromatic plant, but the essential oil takes so much plant material to be made. I think I read somewhere that it takes the equivalent of 50 cups of chamomile in order to make a drop of essential oil. So
I think that's right.
Why is it so? It's like, is it just strong scented but not oily? Because that's the reason why it makes it very expensive to get.
Yeah, like a little, one 1/15 of an ounce of chamomile essential oil is like $100.
Yeah, that's why when people ask for chamomile essential oils, like, do you really need to drink 50 cups at once? Just make yourself a cup of tea.
Yeah.
Do you have any?
I think that's a really good reflection on how a cup of chamomile tea, as we could see just by this conversation, is really effective. It's not extremely strong, but it doesn't mean that it isn't effective as a gentle plant. Like, it's gentle, so just like the mother, it can be gentle and guiding and bringing influence to the child or whatever, or to whatever situation, even to her husband. And whereas like something that might be more forceful, like the essential oil or even other plants, can have an effect on the body that might even have a reciprocating effect, right? They might even have like a resistance to it. So all that said, yeah, I really enjoy the hydrosol, which is the product that we get like 99.5% of when we make a distillation of the plant, and enjoying the little tiny bits of essential oil that are in there, just enough to make the whole hydrosol the color of the sky. And to me, that is plenty of medicine to be consumed or to use on your face, or like we've used chamomile hydrosol before, and it's very cooling. It's really beneficial for, I don't know, gentle healing, I guess you could say.
I just remember something that goes along with the power of... I just remember something about the strong scent of chamomile never going away and being very effective.
Yeah.
Once I was a babysitter for a very, very active 2-year-old, and I could not get him to take the afternoon nap. Nothing worked. But once I brought a little sleep pillow filled with chamomile and lavender, and I just... That we made. Yeah, it was a cool pattern.
That you made, I should say.
That I made, yes. There was like this cool pattern fabric. There were animals on it. So I was like, look what I happen to have here, dear little crazy 2-year-old. Let's play like beanbag toss with this little cushion I have. And we just tossed it around. I threw it to him. He threw it to me. Just fluff it up so you can smell the chamomile. And he fell asleep like magic.
Nice. Yeah, so putting chamomile in a bag that you can use as a sleep pillow, as opposed to using the essential oils and putting it on rice and putting it in the microwave or whatever, it works. It stays. It will keep its smell for years and years and years, as long as you don't put it in the washing machine. Some people they're like, oh, I put it in my pillowcase and I forgot. But it maintains the smell and it maintains the integrity. So that's pretty cool. What else have we used chamomile for, like medicinally, in our lives and household?
Okay, shall we start with the funniest one?
Okay, sure. Might as well. I don't know what you're going to say, though.
We used it as an eye wash. So it is, as we said, is soothing, is cooling even for the skin, and I would say all body surfaces, including the eyes. So if there's redness and inflammation of the eyes, you can definitely brew a strong chamomile tea, filter it super, super good through a piece of fabric, so you don't want any debris in it. And then the proper way to do an eye wash would be using these little glasses. They look like just shot glasses, but they are the rim is curved so that it fits the shape of the eye. So you would fill these little glasses with strong chamomile tea and then put it on your eye, look up, and move your eyes around so that the surface can be washed by the liquid. Mm-hmm. So that would be the proper way of doing it. But how often am I going to do eye washes? Yeah. Do I really need that particular glass?
It's like $8, $20, something like that.
Most of all, where am I going to get it?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll ever use it. It's just complicated. Actual shot glass don't work well because it hurts the side of your eye, so don't use it. So what could we use that would perfectly fit around your eyes and also
hold liquid
and allow you to just don't waste your time by sitting there doing that, but doing something else in the meantime? The answer that Kyle found was goggles.
Swimming goggles.
So he got some swimming goggles, put chamomile in it, wore them, and just went around the house doing his errands with these goggles with the chamomile.
Took the dishes, vacuuming.
You've been underwater for an hour.
Yeah.
It's like you're swimming when you're dry. And you can still be productive and do your dishes.
At least I didn't go to like the grocery store with them on or something like that. But I actually have to give credit. I learned that from Jim McDonald, so that's his idea. And one thing to mention too is that you have to bring it to a proper salinity, otherwise it kind of like burns your eyes. So just a pinch of salt makes it nice for your eyes. Like if some people out there, they wear contact lenses, and if you try to put your contacts in with just water, it hurts so bad. That's why you have to use saline solution, which is, again, that's the mare. There's some Virgo, just the word saline itself. I have one. So a couple of years ago, when you had a belly in the summertime because you were pregnant with our son.
I was about to say, what are you saying? I'm large?
It was around this time of year because I was doing my herb class, and I just did this segment a couple weeks ago, and I have to demonstrate how to make an infused oil, and I was telling Jenny, who was our helper, just left us. Hi, Jenny. To go off and start our own company now, but she was there at the time, and I was like, what should I make? What kind of infused oil should I make? And she's like, why don't you make an infused oil for pregnant belly? And you were only like 3 or 4 months along or something like that. So it wasn't like it was big or whatever, but it was a really good idea to make a belly oil to prevent stretch marks and also like calm just everything about mom nourishment. So the first one that came to my mind was chamomile, adding some chamomile into an infused oil. And then we added some rose petals, and we added some raspberry leaf, and I think maybe plantain, because I just don't do anything without plantain. And it was a hit. We called it Bun in the Oven. And you liked it. Yeah,
it worked great. I don't have stretch marks on my belly.
There was a couple of nights that you didn't use it and you had complaints. What was do you remember? You said that your belly was itchy and that it felt like it was hot and too big, and it was just, I just remember when you were rubbing that on yourself that you felt nice in your skin. Mm-hmm. And so that's one. So we can use it topically for, let's just say, feeling nice, encouraging the gentle movement of healing, encouraging the gentle movement of expansion and nourishment, topically as well. So there's 2 topicals. And we also, I mean, we talked about tea already too, but do you got any more medicine making tips for chamomile? Have you ever used it for a sting or a bee sting or something like that?
So yeah, we have a bag of chamomile tea in our first aid kit for when we go camping.
Yeah.
Because that's
just
it's good for the eyes, as we already said.
But it's also good for first aid. I need a cup of tea because it's been a crazy day, kind of a thing too, right?
Yeah, I think my main thing would be for digestive.
Yeah, just digestive.
I'm like, yeah, I'm camping, I got a tummy ache.
Yeah.
Or also...
Because we used to, most of the time when we were camping, we were like backpacking, like backcountry, you know, hiking and with backpacks on, and it was nice to have some tea at the end of the day.
But also, being in a bag, you can just put it in hot water and use it topically as if it was a poultice.
Right.
So if you have redness, if you have a bug bite that you need, if I were backpacking, I would probably look for plantain, but chamomile works great as well. So that's a good tip, to just take some chamomile with you when you're going hiking. Oh, also for the teeth and gums.
Teething. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we make a tincture with chamomile and brandy. And I mean, I put that into some formulas for sleep and stuff like that too, but did you use it with Davide for teething? No. You didn't.
Well, of course.
We make it.
You know that you say that the cobbler's wife goes barefoot. Well, the herbalist wife never has herbs in her pantry when she needs them.
We have so many herbs, they just fall out. I need to have herbs for stubbed toes from all of the tincture bottles that fall onto my feet when we open our cabinets.
But we never have the one that we need when we need. So we've been very lucky. Davide didn't really
have upset nights with teething.
No.
His upsetness was more expressed as like, I'm up, rah, get the zoomies, instead of like upset that he couldn't sleep, right? And like trying to relax. Mm-hmm. But the one solution that we did find, like we always were using, or I was always, I should say, recommending this chamomile tincture, but I've changed my mind. I've changed my tune on it since we learned something, and that is we started using kava kava as a tincture for his gums for that 1 or 2 nights that he had a little bit of irritability, and that was awesome. So I'm started recommending kava kava plus chamomile. I've been mixing it up for people at the shop. When I mention it on something like this or whatever, somebody inevitably will hear that and ask for that. So kava kava plus chamomile has been awesome. And I don't know, I just really can't say enough about how effective the tea is at so many things, like relaxing, for sleep, for fevers. I had already talked about how it's dispelling the warmth all around my body. It's a really great one for fevers. I like it a lot for when people are sick, just because it makes people feel comfortable in themselves again. And if somebody has the type of constitution or personality where they want to get up and they're like, I don't have time to be sick, I got to get up and do this stuff, and they just don't want to give their body what it needs to rest and relax. And even when they are laying down and stuff on the couch, they're just like constantly thinking about how things might be screwed up without them out there or something like that. Having some chamomile tea is really, really nice for that particular instance where somebody just needs to chill out and be in a rested state so that they can heal. Yeah, I just love chamomile tea so much. We drink a lot of it, don't we?
Yeah.
We drank a lot tonight.
Mm-hmm.
We got a pot. That's pretty good. We're going to work on this jingle maybe. And I don't know. I think I said everything I wanted to say. I'm going to get done with this and be like, oh, shoot, I forgot that and that and that, as I normally do. But that's the idea with this Herb of the Week. It's kind of like a flow state like we've been doing here. It's a conversation, usually just me and the microphone laughing at myself. So it's been really nice to have you as a guest, Serena.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, and thank you also for, I just want to say thank you for being such a wonderful partner to me in this last 8 years. It's beautiful to celebrate our anniversary together, and I can, I don't know, just give you a little bit of public display of affection here and let you know that I love you so much, and I'm so honored and grateful that you're coming on to this and talking with me here this evening. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks y'all for tuning in to another episode of Herb of the Week. I'm your host, Kyle Denton, with my co-host,
Serena Marninelli.
And we're wishing you a great day.
And a good night.
Ciao for now.